The way that I am most like Jesus Christ, other than when I wear a loincloth, is that whole turn the cheek thing. I hate confrontation. Example, so I'm at my first appointment with a new dentist. My old dentist stopped taking my insurance, and my common law husband, Michael, said, well, why don't you go to my guy, Dr. Flowers? I've been seeing him for years, and he takes our insurance. So call me crazy, but I've always liked going to the dentist. So I'm in that undulating examination chair, and I'm all relaxed and lying back, and all I can hear is which is the sound of the hygienist, let's call her Lisa, flipping through my medical intake forms. And then the sound stops. And I look over, and I see her back, and it's kind of tensed up. And then she says to the wall, not to me, "You're HIV positive?" And I wanted to say, no, just kidding. That's the kind of thing I joke about all the time. But I don't say that. I just let the silence linger between us for a while. And then I say simply, yes, turn the other cheek. She says, oh. And she collects herself, and she puts on her latex gloves, and she performs the cleaning. So that evening, Michael said, well, how'd it go with Dr. Flowers? And I said, oh, well, the dentist, he was nice old avuncular guy. I said, but this weird thing happened with Lisa. And he said, oh, I never liked her. And then I told him what happened, and of course he was icked out by it, and then we just kind of shrugged it off, like, what can you do? And we didn't think about it. And about 3 months later, Michael goes in for his routine cleaning, and as soon as he is in the examination chair, Lisa shuts the door, and she says, so I met your partner or husband, which is it? And he says, Jamie. Yeah, he tells me that he's HIV positive. Are you? And he just answers. He says, no, I'm not. He hates confrontation more than I do. And then she shoves some blank medical forms under his nose, and she says, it's been about 5 years since you've filled out your form, so we need to get an update on you. Have you had hepatitis C? Because that can be worse than HIV. Listen, I just ask these questions because I need to protect myself. And then she puts on 2 pairs of latex gloves, a surgical mask, and one of those giant, like, welder masks. So in this beekeeper's outfit, that's how she proceeds to clean his teeth. And afterwards, he calls me, and he says, we need to get a new dentist. And I said, what happened? And he tells me what happened, and then he says, I never have felt so angry and humiliated in my entire life. And that's how I felt lying in that examination chair. But she also made me feel ashamed. And that pissed me off because I thought I had already paid my dues when it came to HIV shame. I came out about 5 years ago about it when I told my father, and then I told all my close friends, and then I came out publicly and I wrote about it. But I had been in the closet for 10 years about it. And I thought I was done with that, but she put me back in that shame corner. So at first, we didn't think there was anything we could do. She didn't refuse us service. But then we started talking to our friends, and she broke the law. There's a little thing called HIPAA, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, that basically says you can't reveal a patient's medical information to someone else. Doesn't matter whether that person is my partner or husband or whichever he is. And in New York, there is a little thing called Article 27F, which deals specifically with HIV disclosure. So it was a double whammy for her. Oh, and by the way, this didn't happen in 1987 or 1997 or 2007. This happened last year in 2017. And it happened on the Upper East Side, not in some small provincial town. And I wanted to say, hey, lady, you think you need to protect yourself? I mean, unless you insist on mounting and barebacking your male patients while cleaning their teeth, I really don't think you have to worry. This time, I didn't turn the other cheek. I filed complaints with the Health and Human Services Department, the New York State Department of Health, the New York City Commission on Human Rights, and it took a while, but I got some action. Lisa no longer works there. What did her in, of course, was revealing my HIV status to Michael, but the way I see it, what did her in was her ignorance and fear and prejudice. So I hope she's in a corner somewhere paying her shame dues. And by the way, I hope she never gets another job in the medical profession. I mean, if someone is that worried about disease, she needs to go work somewhere like Purell. And as for me, I am done turning the other cheek. After all, look where it got Jesus. Thank you.